First of all, I want to start off by apologizing to Lady Drasami. That's D-R-A-S-A-M-I, Drasami. Mainly because a couple of days ago, and they did understand, and I did apologize to them online as well through a private message, but they basically let it be known to me that they weren't particularly fond of what I did. And what I did basically is I took a couple of panels from the first Slime Girls Shenanigans webcomic that they and Globalik did in a collaboration together. I basically took a couple of panels at the end of the comic and decided to use use AI to see what would happen if, certain things occurred that didn't occur in the comic initially. Like, there's this one scene where the main character, Frida, who's a slime girl, and there's a whole backstory on that you can look up really, really good. But there's a whole story, based on how that happened in another webcomic. But Frida is a slime girl who has basically accepted what she's become, and has even enjoyed it, and has really discovered more of what she can do. Anyway, long story short, there's this scene where one of the friends they introduce Frida's powers to, DJ, wants to know what it's like to be like Frida. So Frida decides to use her powers, her new gift, to make that happen, but it's not happened initially. So after some kinky, risque tricks and maneuvering, with the help of other friends, I'm trying to find the right word to say, with some help of some other friends, she's able to make DJ's wish come true, and DJ, if you will, becomes a slime girl herself. So there's this panel where they embrace saying it worked, and then there's these last two panels where the girls are settling down, and DJ and Frida in the slime girl forms are basically spreading out their bodies like blankets to cover their friends up and go to sleep. But here's where things get interesting. And here's why I had to apologize at the beginning, and then, like I said beforehand, a couple of days ago, I apologized privately as well to Drasami. Here's where things get tricky. And I had all the good intentions in the world, okay? I had all the good intentions in the world. I sincerely mean that. I decided to use AI to see what would happen if Frida and DJ in the slime girl forms would fuse. As well as I wanted to see what it would look like if all five girls in the last panel, after they're asleep, what would happen if they fused? Because three of the girls that are normal, basically, that are not slime girl, non-slime girls, the three non-slime girlfriends, are in between Frida and DJ. So my thought was, what would happen if they all fused together thanks to DJ and Frida? And then there's a panel before that was just four girls, or four of the five. And I thought, what would happen if that occurred? So I did all that, and out of the goodness of my heart, I wanted to share the results with Drasami. And even though she understood I'll put it this way, she understood and appreciated what I was doing. She understood the intent. She just wasn't happy about the way I did it. Because Drasami is one of the many people out there that is not fond of AI, and rightfully so. Because look, AI, in my opinion, does have its place. It does have its place in this world, but it's not in the place of taking over people's jobs or putting the fear into people thinking their jobs are going to be taken over or opportunities are going to be taken away from them because of AI. It doesn't have a place doing that, but it does have a place. It has a place in assisting, is what it does. It has a place in basically doing what you want it to do and not what it wants to do. It has a place in trying to open up more jobs for employment. That's where it has a place. It doesn't have a place, in my opinion, of putting fear in people's minds and hearts of it taking over their jobs and taking away opportunities. It does not have a place. But it has a place, like I mentioned, in basically being more about helping people out, assisting, opening jobs up, for people to be hired for. That's its place. And for me, personally, I think it has more of a place, especially if you have sites like HaloU, Kling, VEO3 and VEO2 from Google, Luma, Pixverse, you name it. It has a place as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to those outlets, it has a place as a side hobby. That's what it has. It has a place as a side hobby. Something to do on the side for fun. That's what it has. It's kind of like, because if they want to charge subscriptions and even, charge for extra credits to continue having fun with it, fine. But I look at it like if you're on a comic book subscription, it is something that, like a comic book, when you get that in the mail or you get it online, you could read, for fun because it's part of your monthly subscription, and you're getting to have fun reading that issue and seeing what happens next or what's to potentially come in the following issue. That, to me, is where AI belongs. AI belongs as something, as a hobby. A hobby you could do on the side and try out, and if you feel it's not for you, you don't have to take part in it anymore. But to me, AI does not have a place, in my opinion. It does not have a place in putting fear into people's minds and their hearts of it taking over their jobs, taking away opportunities, and all that. I totally am in agreement. I am totally in agreement that if you're going to do animation, do not use AI, at any cost. Do not use AI at any cost to make, an animation feature or show. Stick to the tradition of 2D, 3D, or 2D traditional. To me, that's how you made your bread and butter. To me, that's how you put your studios on the map. You should stick with it. You should stick with it. And I know people might say I sound hypocritical, but the thing is, like I said, AI has its place. AI has its place in assisting those that are flesh and blood. AI has its place in assisting to open up jobs for people like me, like you, to have for employment. It does not have a place in taking over opportunities, taking over jobs, replacing animation. It does not have a place in doing that. It does not have a place in doing that. It does not have a place in replacing live action. Heck, when they go out, when Hollywood studios go out, when companies, like Paramount, Disney, Warner Brothers, you name it, when they come out and announce, and people report on it, that they need to bring back a certain actor or an actress who has long passed, but because they're needed in a scene or a pivotal scene in a movie or whatever, it's one of those situations that when I hear that, I understand, but I'm not supportive of it. I understand, but I'm not supportive of it, because I'm thinking, you could basically write into the script a reasoning why the character is not there. You can even say that the character on screen has died and passed on, like the real life actor and actress that portrayed them. You can do that. You don't have to go out of your way and use AI to do something that basically may not be, I guess you could say agreed upon, loved upon. It will be frowned upon instead. It will be angered upon instead. You do not need to do that. You do not need to go that length. Instead, just find another way. So I understand how people feel about AI, and those things that I mentioned, them trying to put fear, AI putting fear into people thinking they're going to take over animation, 2D and all that. No, AI does not have a place in replacing, 2D animation or CGI animation or 3D animation, okay? AI does not have a place. AI does not have a place in live action films or movies by trying to bring back a character portrayed by a late actor or an actress. No, it does not have a place, in my opinion. AI does have its place, but its place is to assist in other ways. Assist in opening employment for people. A place to assist in maybe figuring out what medical prescriptions might be needed, or what certain numbers need to be crunched to make a positive profit on NASAGQ, if you will. That's where it's needed, in an assistant-like perspective. And also, it's needed mostly as being like a side hobby, something to just have fun on the side, and if you don't like it anymore, you don't have to deal with it anymore. But that's what it also should be, just on the fun side. Just for someone like me, like you, or anybody else that might want to give it a try or may not want to give it a try, it needs to be in that section of, hey, we're just here for you to have creation fun, just kind of have a hobby, kill some time on the side. Okay? To me, it's meant to be in those two areas, assisting and just being like some little hobby, subscription hobby, like a comic book you get in the mail monthly, from a comic book publisher like Marvel or IDW or Dark Horse or DC. That's where it should be. As a hobby you do on the side, as something that will assist, in other ways, but not something that needs to take over, jobs in Hollywood, animation, and live action. It does not have a place in doing that. It does not have a place replacing 2D, 3D animation, CG animation. It does not have a place doing that. It does not have a place being utilized to bring back, characters, as I mentioned earlier, portrayed by actors and actresses that have long passed. It does not have a place. Even if the actors, before they pass, approve of it, it does not have a place in having the actor or actress's voice that, has long past gone, being reused time and time again. It does not have a place in doing that. It has a place in two areas, in my opinion. In my opinion, is assisting in opening up jobs for employment, crunching numbers to get a positive uptake in places like NASAGQ and banking and all that, as well as it has a place as a subscription hobby. A subscription hobby that, just like, as I mentioned, with a comic book that you get in the mail every month, just to read and see what happens next, or what's going to happen in the following issue, that's where it also has a place in. So, like I said at the beginning, I want to deeply apologize to Lady Drasami for what I did. I had all good intentions. I really did. And she knows that. I truly believe she knows that. And that's why I wanted to do this as well. I wanted to make it clear that, in my opinion, AI has its place, but not in the place of replacing 2D animation, replacing CGI animation, replacing, 3D animation, or anything like that. It does not have its place in replacing anything else. It doesn't. It doesn't have its place, like I said, in bringing back people that have long gone because you want a certain character back. No. You can figure out other ways to kind of explain why that character is not there in that film or show. To me, in my opinion, it has its place. It has its place basically as assisting, in finding jobs for people, crunchy numbers for NASAGQ and all that. And it has its place as a hobby, as a monthly, if not yearly, hobby subscription to have fun with on the side. Yes, I have talked highly and praised the sites that I've used, but I only use them for fun. I only use them as a hobby. And yeah, I might post some of my creations, if you will, via AI on my DeviantArt page, okay? But, and maybe even some here on my YouTube page, if appropriate, or put into limited advertisement. But I do it for a reason, for fun. I don't do it necessarily for profit, I do it for fun, to show how creative AI can be, but done in a hobby-like way. Not in a, hey, I want to see it replace this and that. No. I'm about 2D animation. I'm about 3D animation. I'm about, works, comics and all that done by hand. Digital tablet or not, but done by hand. I'm about that. I'm about basically taking, a legacy movie or show that the original used to have a character in that the actor and actress is long past from. I'm about somebody, I'm about basically having that, legacy show or movie explain in a different way why said character is no longer around. That, ladies and gentlemen, is my belief. My belief. I like using Halo U and Kling and all that as hobbies just to see what would happen. So again, I do deeply apologize to Drasami and anybody else that feels that AI does not belong in doing the things that it does. I deeply apologize to Drasami for what I did. I am very, very sincerely sorry. I am. But again, that's why I wanted to do this. Just to give you my stance. I think it should be AI has a place, but only as assisting and as a monthly, yearly hobby you do on the side. Not something that needs to take over. So again, in closing, I want to deeply apologize to Drasami for doing what I did. I had all good intentions. I really did. But guys, that's all I'm going to say. Let me know what your thoughts are down below on what I had to say here about AI. What do you think of my take on it? Comment down below, like the video, ring the bell for notification, and until next time guys, I'm out.